So, for today, we want to talk about making ramen.
Yeah, so we were going to bake ramen today with spaghetti, so it's not the best like original ramen, but it's still homemade food, so it's fun. And we want to talk about our life project today, and we will take the chance when we cook to like explain what we want to do with our life, and maybe talk a bit about the book that we are writing and the universe it takes place.
And that's it for today. So, ramen, our project of departure,
Yeah, life project.
and the book. To make the ramen, we used an online recipe and basically whatever we could find in our fridge at the moment. It was a bit of an endeavor, but we still wanted to try to make something new, especially I'm going to call this a chief fried chicken that we had never attempted and succeeded before. We did try in one of our old apartments, but the results weren't that good. But this time we tried something new, and hopefully it will end up better than before. This time we also had the help of one of our romantic partner. If you don't know, we are polyamorous, so we are open to other people joining our relationship and basically enjoying life or anything they want to share with us. The name of this partner won't be said in this video because they didn't give their authorization. We didn't use the original ingredient for the recipe, but we ended up with something looking pretty well, and let me tell you, it tastes even better than it looked, even if the kitchen was a bit of chaotic to say the least. In the meantime, I was busy tending to our homemade alcohol. I will tell you more about it later, but it's worked pretty well as well. The end results, and it was just so amazing to taste. We'll do it again. Hi, a lot happened. We weren't able to capture anything on video because we are way too distracted. So basically, after we cooked, we did a party with a friend that was there that ended up with us sleeping 3 hours. And the next day, we went to see my family on the father side, and it was lovely. But we needed to talk about them, about our sudden change of life. We both, me as well and Pew Pew, stopped our studies for becoming hunter-gatherer, if you could say it like that, in the south of France, on the outskirts of nowhere, basically, lost in the hills, and we are going to start a new life there, living off the land, trying to stay as autonomous as possible, even if, as you could imagine, we are going to continue the vlogging. The main goal is showing that as Parisian and folks coming from a big city, you could absolutely learn to survive in the wild and live a simpler, but in the end, in our opinion, healthier life. It won't be easy, of course, because we aren't experts and we probably won't be before a lot of years. And as you can imagine, it's not easy or even it's impossible to not live in our current society. So that's why we are doing a YouTube channel, because we have already calculated a budget of our living expense once we will be out in the wild, and basically it will probably won't be that much expensive. But if our equipment need to be changed, or for example some stuff that we couldn't construct ourselves, like solar panel for electricity, we will still need a certain amount of money. We already have some savings, but they will probably not be enough to last our whole lifetime. If this go well and YouTube start earning us some money, this won't be a problem anymore. If this is getting even bigger and that we even make additional money, it will be contradictory to our anti-capitalistic and nomadic lifestyle, or at least in our opinion, because we don't want to have too much, because we really think it's something that's downfall for the search for your happiness, and in the end our happiness as a whole species. Also on board with the project of the person who will be welcoming us soon, that is going to be to create a non-profit organization that is going to be buying off lands in various places and making them free, basically, which means that anyone could come onto those lands and not be considered homeless anymore. There won't be housing, or at least not in the normal way of seeing housing. For example, we won't build anything or not much out of stone or anything that would last. It could be dirt building and stuff like that, or even just made out of tissue like tents and others. There won't be an agricultural system in place. There won't be like a field or potager. It won't be connected to the electrical grid in general. Sometimes it won't even be connected to internet. It won't have running water. But the idea is to make it hospitable. So there will be water available, but in pond that we will naturally create and take care of, so that animals like ourselves and others can drink from them. The agricultural model that we will try to apply to those places will be what's called, how does he say it in English? In French it's in French it's permaculture forestière. So I'm going to make a real Englishism and call it arborical permaculture. I'm not sure at all about this term, so if anyone have a better way of saying it, please don't hesitate to notify us. The idea will be to recreate forest environments, because it's a great self-sustaining organization, and to make it so that almost all, if not all, if possible, species that will live in said forest will be edible and beneficial in any way possible to humans. What's great is that it will also mean that other animals could live there, for example our birds, but it also means that any human could go on one of those three places and be able to feed themselves, shelter themselves in a way at least, and have water, because we really believe that those main needs for survival are essential if we want to create functioning societies. And if you look at what capitalism has done those last few decades, it's not trying to achieve those secure needs. There is a lot of proof, and we will be able to discuss this further more in the future. And if you have any question or interrogation, or even if you disagree, please do express yourself. This is supposed, and this is meant to be a community project. We will need you to ask questions so that we just don't say dumb stuff in the air. We need you to understand the project and why we think the way we do. And we also need people that disagree with us, so that we can elaborate our thinking, that we can elaborate our ideas, our project. We won't accept violence or any insult as constructive criticism or even valid opinion, because there will probably not be much to read or understand. But if you have a valid point that you think will be in contradiction to what we are trying to present, please don't hesitate. It will probably make us learn a lot, and we love to learn. So that's one of the main projects. The other one is a smaller one and kind of a childhood dream of mine. When I was a child, not even 10, and I already wanted to write a book. There were a few attempts of writing along the years, but I were never really satisfied with the settings I was picturing or even the stories I was telling myself, because they were in the end full of cliche and not really that original. And then I met my partner, whom teach me a lot about myself, a lot about societies, and a lot about so much stuff, and I'm really grateful for them for all of it. Because of this, I elaborated and thought about a new book. This book won't be something I will be able to fully talk about here on YouTube, because it's heavily adult theme. But the main plot is basically what would happen if there was a fantasy world full of magics, but the magics is heavily linked to pleasure. Which is important. Pleasure is something that we instinctively link to certain adult theme action, but it is something that we have put a lot of rules onto socially. So we want to explore a world where we are free of our perspective, and we will be able to criticize a lot of what happened in our society. So for example, we will be questioning gender, we will be just questioning the patriarchy, misogyny in general, capitalism, and all the while we are going to have fun imagining anything that will happen in a world full of magics and wonders. It's a dear project of mine, and even if I am way too slow writing, I'm really enjoying myself for the very first time writing and just world building everything that can be built in these settings, because I never saw anything like this. It's meant to talk to a lot of people that aren't that much represented, but it's also meant to be really shocking for people who are basically living in this society. I don't honestly know where this is going or how it will end up, and the depth of what we will write about, because this is now a common project of people, you and me, under the name Laboratories, which is a whole other story that we are going to talk about later if you want, or if we want. It's really something that I enjoy picturing in my head, writing down, even if I don't write that much. And I'm really eager to make this as well a community project. So if I write, I want this to be something that anyone could contribute to, add other stories in the places that we describe with new characters, or they maybe just do anything about with the character that already exists. I want this to be something free for as much people as possible, and if people like this project, they can join, they can financially contribute to, or just read it. Because it will be an adult theme, as I said, it will probably be hard for us to post it on most places on the internet, but we are going to find where we can post it and hope that it will be well liked, and if it's not, that we will be able to improve so that it will be well liked in the end. That's basically it for today. So in short, we are going to move SAS friends to live an anarchist and free life where basically anybody that wants to join us could, and anyone that doesn't want can be able to express why they don't want this kind of life, so that we can improve our ideas. And we also want to write a book that is going to be adult theme, free for all to participate and write about, and that should be able to be free for anyone to read. I hope you like this update. It's not about as interactive as what we do most of the time, but I'm happy I get to try this position, because I think it's just nice to change the way we do things around. Please don't hesitate to like and subscribe, because we are fairly new on YouTube and any help will be welcome. And if you are interested in our life, you can easily find any social media. We try to give really different vibes on all of them, so if you don't like us on one of them, maybe you will like us on another one. I don't know, it's kind of part of our fun. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you all. I will see you all later.